So after losing to Tommy Fury last October, KSI is trying to get himself back into the boxing world, and he just announced his newest fight. Or should I say fights this August.
So, I will be fighting Slim and Anthony Taylor in a 2v1 handicap tag team match. Both of you against me. You have 24 hours to accept.
No, that is not a joke. KSI did just say the words 2v1 handicap boxing match. He called out two YouTuber boxers by the name of Slim and Anthony Taylor, but he doesn't want to fight them on two different fights. He wants to fight them at the same time. Not in separate fights, he wants to fight both of these guys at the same time in a tag team boxing match. And I've got to say, this is quite possibly one of the dumbest ideas I've ever heard. Everybody's in agreement that it would make a lot more sense if they did it like they did before, where they have two separate fights, one at the beginning, one at the end, instead of a 2v1 handicap boxing match. If you aren't aware, 2 years ago, August of 2022, he fought a quote-unquote professional boxer, but looked like a frightened child, and a rapper named Swarms. Besides the fact of how bad they were, it was still pretty impressive to everybody at the time. And it was the first time we had seen KSI fight in like 2 years. No, it's 3 years at that point because he fought in 2019 and then in 2022. But Slim and Anthony Taylor are completely different fighters. Slim got his name completely through YouTuber fights, but he's considered to be one of the best ones, and he has some okay wins to his name. On the last Prime card where KSI fought Tommy Fury and lost, Slim fought Salt Poppy, who I know if you don't know about influencer boxing sounds like an absolute joke, but the dude's actually pretty good and Slim beat him pretty convincingly. So he's got some impressive wins. He knocked out the guy that KSI knocked out when he came back, the face temper guy. And just talent wise, Slim is actually a pretty decent boxer. And Anthony Taylor actually got his start strictly from fighting. He fought Tommy Fury on Jake Paul versus Tyron Woodley's first fights undercard and lost. He also punched Dylan Dennis in a parking lot and almost knocked him out if this truck didn't stop him, which is something Logan Paul couldn't even do, so you gotta give him something for that. But he eventually realized he wasn't as good as he thought he was and then stuck to YouTuber boxing, and now he's the Misfits champion, which is it's pretty cool. He's not on the level of a Tommy Fury at all, or even a Amir Khan, who KSI was apparently going to fight. And if you don't know Amir Khan, he is one of the best. Like, if KSI fought Amir Khan, it would be the best fighter out of all this influencer stuff, better than any people Jake has fought. He would be the best. But Slim and Anthony Taylor are not just completely trash, which is why they should just have two separate fights instead of this stupid 2v1 fight. Slim's reply was saying that he wasn't gonna tag Anthony Taylor in. So you have one of the people on the tag team saying that they're not going to tag the other person in because they want to run ones with KSI. Obviously, why would they tag somebody else in? Like, imagine they tag Anthony Taylor in, he gets the knockout, and then Slim is just sitting there and he just wasted his opportunity to knock out KSI. Or if KSI knocks out one of them, does it completely just end the match? I don't know. This is so stupid to me. If they actually go through with this 2v1 fight, it will be the worst showcase of boxing possibly of all time. And it's only delaying us further from the fight that we actually want to see KSI in, which is of course against Jake Paul. These two have been beefing since 2018, which is 6 years now. I was going into 8th grade when they started beefing. I just finished my freshman year in college. It has been way too long. KSI fought Logan Paul, Jake's brother, and beat him, and they've been talking trash to each other ever since, and it's been ridiculous. And they have both had multiple fights in the past few years at similar weight classes, and they could just never figure out a time to fight each other and figure out the timing and just get this fight done. But while KSI was announcing his WWE boxing match, he did mention the Jake Paul fight, and he said he's giving him one more chance. He laid out some negotiations, his final stipulations, and he said that Jake can either accept this or he's gonna move on.
Today, Jake, I'm going to be making you my final offer. May 2025. Just so you have all the time in the world to be ready. And we can even do it in America, just to make you that bit more happy. But that is it when it comes to giving you advantages. I mean, first of all, we agreed to fight at 180 pounds, and then you decided to run away and fight Nate Diaz instead. Then you came back, won in a fight at 185 pounds. And then you decided, you know what, scratch that, let's fight at 200 pounds. You know what, Jake? I'm tired of this bullshit. Get off the cycle and let's make this work. We both have weight to lose, and we both have plenty of time to do it. 185 pounds is my final offer. Take it or leave it. If you come back with some bullshit on social media, I will sleep good, knowing that deep down, you never really had the balls to fight me in a fair fight. You were never actually about it. You were just trying to save face online.
The biggest things that have kept this fight from happening is the timing and the negotiations. But I've got to say, the stipulations that KSI is giving here actually do make sense. The weight is the biggest factor, especially with Jake Paul getting up to 240 pounds now for Mike Tyson, and KSI probably walks around at like 175. Jake Paul is just a naturally bigger guy than KSI, but KSI did beat Logan, who was a lot bigger than Jake, but Jake is a lot more skilled than Logan. You don't want to make the weight too light because then Jake is going to be all drained down and he can use that as an excuse if he loses. And the same thing for making it too heavy, KSI can make the same excuse. So you want to find a good balance in the middle. And I know for like casual fighting fans, the difference between 180 pounds and 185 pounds doesn't seem like that much, but in boxing it is. And we just saw that with the Ryan Garcia-Devin Haney fight, and even with the Ryan Garcia-Gervonta Davis fight, you can see how much weight makes a difference in fighting. And Jake has been religiously boxing for the past few years. KSI is not. So I feel like Jake should accept it at 185 because he's done it for Nate Diaz, he did it for Tommy Fury. He should be able to convincingly beat KSI. So just to secure that this fight actually happens, I hope he accepts the weight. I just feel like it needs to happen. This buildup has been going on for so long and it's time to settle this once and for all. Jake shouldn't have a problem with the details at all. The Mike Tyson fight's in November now, so he'd have time to train and build up the fight. It just needs to happen. And the irony of us getting Jake Paul versus KSI the same year as GTA 6 is just hilarious to me. And regarding this 2v1 stupid fight that's going on in August, I hope it doesn't happen. I hope it's just KSI versus Slim, to be honest, or do the separate fight things again. Hopefully we can get them to change their minds because God, this is stupid and just something that nobody wants to see. And above all, we need this KSI versus Jake Paul fight to happen. But let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about this 2v1 fight? The Jake Paul versus KSI? How do these fights play out? Let me know in the comments below. But that's all I've got for today. Thank you all for watching. And with that being said, I'm out of here and I'll see you on the next one.